Hi, this is Katja Morgenstern. I am a OnePlus columnist, and I work with a company called Meeting Consultants out of Atlanta, Georgia. And be sure to check out my next month's column on fall food feasts. The best game plan would be to initially start out with a long enough timeline to where you know that your event is going to be 18 months out. And that is the ideal situation because you have enough time to work with the venue, work with the chef, to find out what the chef can get in during that season. It never hurts to ask the question. If you don't ask, you don't know what kind of answer you're going to get. And never take no for an answer. You can always negotiate a no to here's what we can do. I'm seeing a lot more planners demand it. I'm seeing a lot more venues offer it. I'm even seeing a couple of venues that are going ahead and saying, here is what we offer. This is how we want to make your meeting sustainable and green. So a couple of venues are ahead of the 8 ball and going ahead and setting it off to where this is what they do, this is their policy, and it just makes it easier for a meeting planner. The Vancouver Convention Center is one of the top not quite in the world yet, but definitely in the country. They have an amazing green space up top to where they reuse water, gray water. They actually work with the City of Vancouver. The City of Vancouver actually has an initiative to be one of the most green cities in the world by 2020. It's no longer trendy, it's an absolute necessity for our own sustainability as a culture to continue to exist in any type of standard that we've already set up to actually start to live our lives more sustainably. We're all encouraged, particularly in our industry, to socially network and to communicate and to talk about what we're doing, what's going on. However, the risk in that is oversharing, and I'm not talking about TMI that you share between strange people. I'm talking about the fact that you're posting on Twitter or Facebook your social activities, and then you go and look for a job interview, and those employers actually search Google and the social networking sites, and those things do not get erased. They are there forever. And so our society has moved to, instead of, whereas before we had all the social networking, people would forget the things and the stupid mistakes that you did and all of the erroneous stuff and the drunken fits or stuff like that. It could be forgotten after a certain period of time. However, with social networking, it will never be forgotten. What's on the horizon? Well, actually what I see on the horizon is a strengthening of the sustainability and the green initiatives. I see that becoming an actual stronger demand. I see that it becoming such a demand that venues are going to have to start tailoring to budgets that require that demand. Because I think they'll start losing out to competitors who are willing to tailor budgets to meet the sustainable green initiatives that many meeting planners are actually expected to uphold. Honestly, for a budget, food-wise, plated meals are almost always cheaper. However, they're not convenient, they're not conducive to service, always depending on the size of your group. If you're talking about a couple hundred folks, plated meal is fantastic. But if you're talking about a couple of thousand people, I would hesitate to offer a plated meal only if you have enough adequate staffing and service, because you want to make sure that if you've got a plated meal that you have so many staff per table. WEC is by far my favorite conference. It is one that I make sure that I attend every single year. You get the best networking, you get the best food, because I like my food, and you get to meet up with some great old friends. Your educational sessions are awesome, the keynotes are fantastic, and the speakers are fabulous. This is just a conference that you should never miss. If you can only put one in your budget, this is the one to be at, and it's always at a cool location. I mean, you see what I have to suffer through here, back here. This is Vancouver. This is fabulous. You just doesn't get any better than this.